Alright guys, so rally increasing with momentum moving into the high. I'm a little surprised. I expected us, I mean, we did really take a drop. It's just, again, coming out of Mercury retrograde, still feeling the impact and the influence of that. And it kind of like continued a little later in the day than I thought. This, I almost bought a put right around here, and then I'm like, nah, it's a fake out based on what we see tomorrow, which is the Ace of Wands. We likely have a gap up, and then like some selling in early in the morning, followed by right around the open, a big pop to the upside. Something to point out here is that the Prince of Wands is in the high position for the 6th. Prince of Wands is in the high position for the 7th. We saw something similar going on with the Knight of Wands in the previous month. I'm sorry, guys. My throat is like scratched. But what I really want to look at is Mercury retrograde dates. We're a little bit further into the pattern now. Alright, so matter of fact, gotta open up the 1 year. The 1 year conducted, by the way, guys, or is it? The 1 year was created, the photo was created May 11th, 2021 at 10 p.m. Alright, so the dates of the last Mercury retrograde was 8/20 to 9/9. That was the first phase. Second, well, third phase, I should say, 10/2 to 10/16. So we're looking for like a mimic of this pattern here. It has nothing to do with what happened prior to this period of time between these two vertical lines, but this period of time between the vertical lines should be mirrored somewhat here in between these two vertical lines. All right, so we kind of did like a U-shaped dip to a peak, and then we dropped really hard with a little bit of a return towards the end, we should see. That's my sense. Probably have a pop tomorrow, and that'll be like the mimicking of this. And that would make perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, at the close, we're bumping along resistance, maybe breaking through resistance, and they're selling from near overbought territory, or excuse me, from overbought territory on RSI. So we were so low on here already, it didn't make sense to me. Plus, I took a look here. I almost fell for it. And that was pretty significant resistance, or excuse me, support there. Interesting. Like I said, we would likely hit this support here. I did say that. If we passed that support, we'd fill the gap, but we didn't pass that support. We utilized it as support. And that's pretty much like sideways rotation. We had a little bit of a rally early in the morning, and then that was followed by sideways rotation, basically, along a support level. which we're gonna go with this roughly 373.08, roughly. I'm going to make this a brief live session, guys, just because it's the Pisces moon right now. It's so opportune for me to be doing readings. So if you're just hopping on, what I was looking at is the time period, the 3 phases of Mercury retrograde. We're still in the 3rd phase here, and what used to be a theory for me is now fact for me. It's been for years. Is that what happens in the first shadow, which for this Mercury retrograde period is from this point, from the 8:20 to 9:9, so between these 2 vertical lines, and then the second shadow. So after the retrograde period here, between these 2 vertical lines, there's a second shadow, or the post shadow between these 2 vertical lines, which are 10:2 to. The vertical line is 10:3, but the period starts at 10:2 through 10:16. So vertical lines are 10:3 to 10:17, and what we should see is basically like a mimicking of this pattern that we have here between these 2 lines. We should see like a mimicking of it here. What I see happening is right now we're kind of like doing that U-shaped dip thing here. We dropped, right? We dropped, and now we're gonna go and do like a little bit of a pop, and then that pop is gonna be followed by a pretty big drop. Right, so like pop, then we probably open right around the same high and drop on the 10th is my sense. And that's pretty sound. The pattern, the Mercury retrograde shadows pattern, it's a trading theory that I've been developing, not theory, trading strategy that I've been developing for, I'd say it was a theory up until about 10 years ago. Like by that point I was like, oh, this is so true. Still obviously learned some from each retrograde period, but the fact is that what happens in the post shadow tends to repeat itself in the what happens in the pre-shadow tends to repeat itself in the post shadow. Not just in the market, but everywhere in life. Right, and there's that Princess of Swords level that we highlighted here. Right, so we were saying how we would see within, we would see in the near future an opportunity to make money in both sides of this price level. So this is like a good mean point, which was like 378 to 377-ish, roughly. So we should probably see like us rise above that, is my sense. Rise above or roughly the same, it's hard to say. But I think we probably have quite a bit of the move overnight. There's this fake out card, so I'm guessing we probably do some bearish behavior in the post market. If we do, that's a good indication that we're going higher tomorrow, but pretty strong indication we go higher tomorrow. Right, and that, like the highs continued, or we have the same high. One of those two. Let's see, do we have Prince of Wands here? No Prince of Wands on the 5th. But we have Prince of Wands at the high on the 6th. And then tomorrow we have Prince of Wands at the high. So likely It's either the continuation of the rally, which is more likely, or it's the same price level, which is a lot less likely. It could be, but it's a lot less likely just based on the fact that it's elements. Like usually the universe would utilize like a swords card to repeat, indicating like a resistance level if it was a repeating price level. I think it's probably the continuation of a trend. Interesting is we had the trade card for the tower card here, and the trade card for the tower card tomorrow as well. So that is pretty interesting. There is a possibility it's the same high, because I mean now we have two correlating things. The tower is falling from a peak. It may not be though. It could just be similar behavior from a higher high if it continues. And I'm advised to open up some protection. It would be prudent to do it around 10:30 to 11. It would be prudent to do it between 10 and 11 in the midst of that big move that we come out of in the morning. There's a trade opportunity to open up a long position first thing in the morning, so in the midst of a little bit of a decline. And then it looks like at the high, there's a trade opportunity to position oneself with some protection. And the prudent high would be between 10 and 11. A less prudent high, a little bit more risky, is after this high-low correlation in the morning that we have. There's another indication, cross correlation, that we have a high there as well between like 12 and 1, bumping along resistance again. Now, that could be a similar price level. We'll see. So like a quick day trade there first thing in the morning if you're interested in day trades. And then like I'd say probably between like 12 and 2, there's another period where we're like bumping along resistance and possibly turn it into support and re-rotate sideways along it as support, but like there's sideways rotation there. I'm not so sure I want to go with the end of day. We'll have to see where we open. Will give me some indication of how high we're going to move and that sort of thing. It depends on if you're profitable or not. I mean, it's a tricky question because I'm not getting like a definitive. I think probably what it is, why I'm not getting a definitive day for the high here, is because it probably happens on both days. That would make sense. So on the 7th and the 10th, we likely have the same high. And yes, definitely before the end of the day tomorrow, I'll definitely be out of all my calls. And then I don't see a big move at the end of the day, so it's like I don't want to end up and jump the gun and then we have like a high at the end of the day. There's no big move at the end of the day. In fact, there's a trade opportunity at the end of the day, but we also have a low correlation at the end of the day. So it's like I think probably better to do it in the midst of this big move to the upside early in the morning before there's like a drop. Out of that drop, there's going to be another rally higher, and then we're going to bump along resistance, maybe break through resistance temporarily or something. Like midday, and there'll be another opportunity there, but I wouldn't wait till the end of the day. Definitely wouldn't wait till the end of the day. And I'm being advised to open up protection. Yeah, because there's a luxury correlation to the high high position as well, which means that we probably come back, like from wherever we drop at this crest here, we break through support, and then we turn around and we like return back to like a U-shaped reversal and come back and reuse that as support. So we don't go back to where we fell from. We come back a bit, but not to where we fell from. Like my plan is to open up some protection on the 7th as well, but that I'm on the fence about. I think the high that we see around like 10 to 11 in there, we likely see that high again. It doesn't look like it's a new high. If it was a new high, I'd likely see the abundance card here instead of the love card. It's more like a move through resistance and then back down briefly after, like full retracement. I think I'm just going to be prudent, and I'm going to open up some protection around like. It really depends on where we open tomorrow, but my plan is there's two plans. Either I'm gonna sell my calls and buy puts between like 10 and 11 at the end of like a move higher early in the morning, or if I miss that move higher and I see that decline that we have here, then I'll wait to bump up against it again. Probably, unless we're at the same high end of the day, which I don't know. It could, but probably not. But if we are, then I would take that opportunity to open up the puts if I missed it here. And if we aren't, I would open up my puts first thing in the morning on the 10th instead. So there's some big moves here on the 11th. So what's interesting is that this on the 10th, this card in the high position does indicate it's kind of bullish. Like there'll be a price level that's higher than that price level. Probably, man, that's tricky. My God. Let me see. I'm still going to be in, I think I'm probably still going to be in a straddle or a strangle. I'll probably just reposition myself for a short-term price swing here so I can sell both of them, like probably the long. If I time it right, I want to buy in the midst of that decline, that sharp decline on Monday. I want to buy calls and then sell them. God, this thing was throwing me off. I see what was throwing me off now. So this is like a sharp drop on the 10th and a pretty big return on the 11th out of that drop. I think probably the high is on the 10th. Yeah, but I'm going to be prudent. So I'll probably buy my protection here on the 7th and then maybe get some more if it's a significantly higher high. As well as I'll likely sell calls here, but hold on to some or reposition myself in some sort of safe way, because I definitely see there's more downside, especially the end of the week on the 14th. And then into the, I mean, like, yeah, it's just there's this crest here, so like this is a safe downward kind of trade here, I think. Yes, I think so. But like if you're like on the fence of making money, expire on the 24th. If you're not really profitable, like if you're at the money or something, you know, you're like even on them or maybe a little below, it might make sense to hold the calls until the 10th. Like that's likely what I'll do. I'm not gonna sell anything for like a loss or like really even. I want to get that chunk of change, and there is a move in there. But that's what it's looking like. And tomorrow morning, I'll do my best to hop on in the morning, based on where we, you know, and talk about what I'm gonna do based on where we open, where the price level opens. Is that what they're having? They're having unemployment numbers tomorrow. What time do they have them, Raymond? Thanks for watching, guys, by the way. Do me a favor, take a moment to just share this live stream with somebody. It really helps out the channel. If there's somebody you think it would help or really, like, just think it's cool to see somebody actually predicting the stock market, you know? Best if it helps them. Much appreciated for your support, guys. If you guys have any like questions or any stocks that you want me to do readings on, I'm doing those readings. I'm probably gonna end this stream like right at 4 o'clock, so like 12 minutes, because I want to get back to my readings. Like I'm all set up. I'm ready to go here. And there's no time to lose. This is the Pisces moon. Pisces right now, anyways. Pisces influence. Anybody know what time the unemployment numbers are supposed to come out? I guess I could look it up. $8:30, huh? So we likely open higher and then sell because it seems like people will likely be afraid before the unemployment, you know, that they're taking risk off the table prior to the numbers, and then in the midst of that decline, there's opportunity for that long day trade. So opening up a long position here, calls, and it looks like it'll probably turn around rather abruptly, probably around 8:30 is my sense, but that's hard for me to time. There's nothing really to indicate timing there. But there's a big move, so probably yes, like people's expectations are adjusted because it's like higher than expected, or better than expected. Sometimes when I'm like shuffling and looking at the screen, I end up shuffling half the deck backwards. Like, oh, it's so annoying. I almost did that. Yeah, I think you're right. They come in higher than expected. But I think there's probably profit taking before the numbers come out. Yeah, I've got BTBT on the list for November. Also planning to do a 10-year for that and a 2023 for that. And then Boeing. Okay, I'll put that on the list for you, no problem. I have it on the list for 2023 as well, so there'll be a 2023 reading of Boeing and BTBT. Anything else, guys? I'm going to be focusing on a lot of cryptos because they seem to be growing the channel. And we might have some selling right here, guys. I've also got GTII on that list. I believe that is on the list. I mean, I'm going to do a bunch more than what I said so far, but like Venu, I'm going to do Solana, GTII is on the list. Alright guys, so if you're just following along, or you're just hopping on now, excuse me, what I was looking at before is so there's the Mercury retrograde strategy. This is like my main strategy throughout the year because it's like there's enough of them and the behavior around the edges of them is reliable enough. I know there's going to be volatility during the shadow periods of Mercury retrograde or leading into them. And it happens 3 to 4 times a year, so it gives you plenty of opportunity to like prepare ahead of time. So I utilize them. I don't normally trade during retrograde because that's a bad idea. Learned my lesson again this time, my God. But the strategy is that in the pre-shadow phase, what happens between these two dates, these vertical lines, will be mimics between the post-shadow phase, these two vertical lines. And so right now what we have is like, we have this like U-shaped dip here, and we're kind of seeing a U-shaped dip here, right? So we should probably have a pop tomorrow to the upside, and then we've got that Princess of Swords level that it was identified twice as like a good price point for a mean point between a straddle or a strangle. So there's a lot of reason for me to think we're moving to the upside tomorrow, early in the morning. So there's probably a bit of a gap to the upside. Especially if we see selling into the post-market, which we may very well see. Like, that's what I'm sensing from this. You know, this is the 200-day. This could easily be like bumping up against resistance, and then we get the Devil card and selling, but we're nowhere near overbought territory. So the Valor card's usually more bullish than that as well. Right, so we've got the Prince of Wands at the high for today and tomorrow, which most likely means there's like a continuation of there's like a continuation of the it may very well be we revisit that same high there. This may be topping out, guys. Because it's not just the Prince of Wands that's repeating itself in the same position the following day. It's also the trade card opportunity, the Tower card. So selling from an overbought, or selling from a peak or crest, like significant selling from a peak or crest. Yeah, and the low is somehow nullified as well. Maybe it doesn't hold. Putting on some really cheap protection just in case, like if I'm wrong and I don't need to, it'll make money in like a week or two. I don't know if I'm gonna do it because it's nullified. It's a nullified. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not putting on protection yet. It's a nullified low card. So it's like this price level where we get to doesn't really. It's not significant. We move higher again tomorrow. That's a smart move, Raymond. I'm thinking along the same lines. Alright, so if we do see selling now in the post-market, that's a very good indication of an upward move overnight based on that Devil card. Guys, last chance here before I do, I'm going to do like a buttload of readings over the next 2 days. And I probably won't do fresh thing of photographs of readings for like a week or two after this. So, you know, if you want to see a specific stock or specific crypto, you're really hoping to see it in November, now is definitely the time, guys. I'm gonna get a drink and I'll be right back, and then I'm logging. Do I have a low for the next round down? I know I was talking a few days ago about not seeing a lower low. So I think we're probably going to test this low again. It's my sense, or come close to testing this low again. If we test that low here, like in the second week of October, then we likely go lower. But I want to see where this crest ends up being. If this crest is like a return back to like a high for the month, and then another big drop, we'd probably retest that low a second time. But if this doesn't return to that price level, which I don't think it's going to, then we'd probably see a deeper low into the end of the month. It's the best I got for you, my man. Depending on what I see, on the price levels that I see at the high low here and the high here. Alright guys, I'm going to log. Thank you so much for watching. Remember guys, follow the rule of karma. It's super important. These free readings, all of this stuff guys, I did 90 readings in the last 30 days. 91, excuse me. All free. Spent all my time doing this. Pay it forward. Make sure you're keeping the flow moving through the universe. Help somebody out, doesn't see it coming, somebody that could really use the help. Maybe even get away with them not knowing you helped them. Like that's the best kind of, I call it, or a lot of people call it a mitzvah, a good deed. It's the best kind of good deed. You know, the one that people don't know, that you don't claim credit for. Only the universe knows you did it. Only you know you did it. And then you also can send some back this way, really help support the channel. I'm about to stop trading again after this period, like this, what is it called? This the end of the post shadow on the 17th, I'll be done trading until the next retrograde, which starts in the beginning of December. So could really use that, a little chunk of change back this way. But most importantly, guys, it's really important, just make sure you're spending that money out of love. Do what you got to do with it. Make sure it's out of love, and the universe will shine it back down on you tenfold from all directions. You're welcome. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll try and be on in the morning too.